What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here filling in for Harrison Graham as he is out of office on a very much needed vacation. But I did want to break down minicamp for you guys now that is in the books. All 3 days are wrapped up from Hallis Hall. So we're going to run through some winners and losers. Now, they're not really that big of winners or not that big of losers because it's 3 days of practice in June, and there's no contact. So don't take things too seriously. If you get super upset and triggered, I'm sure it's going to happen. Now, my first winner, though, is Justin Fields. Now, this one you can't take seriously because Fields is no doubt a winner coming out of minicamp. We had some good and some bad things, but he definitely improved from day 1 to day 2 and then into day 3 today. Now, by all reports and accounts, he is way ahead of where he was last year during OTAs and minicamp. It's his second year with Luke Getsy and Matt Eberflus, so he's getting more comfortable with this system after transitioning from year 1 with Nagy to year 2 with Flus. Now, I'm not the only one who's pretty upbeat about number 1 coming out of minicamp. Zach Pearson tweeted out, "It was good, I thought it was nice. Justin went through his reads and progressions nicely." This was Eberflus talking about the red zone drills that the Bears did during day 3 of minicamp, which was a primary focus for them. It was a bit of a shorter practice, but Fields was spraying the ball across the field to all of his intended targets. He linked up with Tunyon for a nice touchdown. He was on fire, and he was much sharper in day 3 compared to when he started in day 1, and that is great to see. Now, Eberflus was not the only one who was pretty high on Justin Fields. His own left guard, Tevin Jenkins, commented on Fields going into the season, saying, "He carries himself like a 10-year vet. Just seeing how he commands the huddle and what he wants to see out of all of us, it's like a wake-up call for me to see that I need to start pushing myself to get on that level." Now, I have very high expectations for Justin Fields this upcoming season. He wants to push the ball downfield. We talked about this in yesterday's show. Justin Fields had one of the highest ADOTs, that's average depth of target, which is a nerdy way of saying, does he check it down like Kirk Cousins on 4th down in a playoff game? Or does he push the ball downfield, as our Vikings guy catches a stray? He pushes the ball downfield. The issue is he had no one to push the ball downfield last year. Darnell Mooney was hurt. Velus Jones never really developed into that deep threat like they thought. And that left Dante Pettis as this team's best big play receiver. DJ Moore changes all of that. He is a deep ball machine, and he is going to be on the receiving end of a lot of these big throws. Now, I do want to quickly say it wasn't all roses from Justin Fields. You might see some Bears media reporters be really harsh on number 1, be pretty easy on Justin. He had his fair share of misses and probably a little bit more than I would like to have seen for a non-contact 3-day camp where it's kind of flag football-esque. I mean, the Bears definitely ramp up the intensity compared to some other teams out there that either just canceled minicamp or just look at it like a big field day. But still, for it not being contact, you'd probably like to see him make some better throws and whatnot. But it's just June. I'm not overly concerned or anything like that. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I said Justin Fields was perfect all 3 days of minicamp. Now, looking at the NFC North with no more Aaron Rodgers in it, and Fields going to be hanging out with Jordan Love tonight in France. Him and Deshaun Watson and Jordan Love are doing a quarterback football camp. I'm not quite sure the details of it across the pond in France. It's Fields' first time going to Europe, actually. But enough of that. Will Fields be the number 1 quarterback in the NFC North this year? With Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, and Jordan Love, it definitely feels like there is a king of the North to be taken, and I sure believe it's going to be Fields. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. My first loser coming out of minicamp is no Bears player. It's the Carolina Panthers. This is my way of spin zoning. They are fools for trading away DJ Moore, and the Bears got away with an all-time heist here because Moore has been awesome so far. Now, it's just minicamp, and there's no pads really being thrown on, but he is still connected with Justin Fields and has made so many great plays. Like every single day of minicamp and OTAs, it felt like play of the day was number 2, DJ Moore. This is exactly what you love to see. And I know math guys and big nerds out there tell you that 1 + 2 = 3. Not this year. 1 + 2 = 6. These two are going to connect for time and time again, touchdown after touchdown. DJ Moore, I think, is going to have a better season than Allen Robinson had in his first year with the Bears, which was, for Bears fans, a first real glimpse at a wide receiver since not too long, but since Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey, of someone who can be a consistent player in the passing game. And hopefully DJ Moore can be that and more with Chicago and with Justin. Now, Fields did talk about his chemistry with DJ Moore, and here's what he said. It did come quickly. His body language is easy to read. Early on, we communicated on how we wanted each route run. So DJ Moore, I'll throw his stats on screen for those of you guys to just kind of soak in what's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver for Chicago this year. But chemistry is huge, right? It's the little things, knowing, hey, based on where the safety lines up and based on the break out of the route, what kind of route are you going to run? Because this is not your turkey league, right? This is not a turkey trot or a turkey bowl. This is the National Football League, where receivers and quarterbacks have to be on the same page and have to make split-second decisions based on the coverage they see, and they don't get an opportunity to just call timeout every single time and redo the route. No. So Moore and Fields getting this chemistry down in June is going to make for some fireworks in September. Now, speaking of September and Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, you are ready for Harrison Graham to be wearing his cheese grater and be chanting FGB until he loses his voice, then let's sub for dubs, baby. I hate the Packers, and if you hate the Packers, which I hope you do, then subscribe down below. My second winner coming out of minicamp is the second-year safety Jaquan Brisker. So Brisker was constantly making plays throughout minicamp, and he is a prime breakout candidate in year 2. Hopefully him and a healthy Eddie Jackson can form what's going to be a very underrated secondary in Chicago. A lot of teams, when rebuilding a defense, start with the defensive line and work backwards. The Bears sort of did the inverse of that, right? They invested a lot in DBs, and Brisker is going to take a big jump forward in year 2. Now, last year, he was already a pretty good safety in the NFL. PFF ranked him as the 42nd best safety out of 88 qualifying players. He showed a lot of potential. He was this team's leading sack getter, which is a good and bad thing, because you would love to see your safety get some sacks, but you probably don't want him to be the number one player getting after the quarterback. That's up for defensive ends and linebackers and whatnot. So hopefully someone else takes that crown from him. But Brisker, he was great during minicamp. He was definitely a winner in my book. My second loser, you might be noticing a trend here. It's the NFC North, because all of a sudden the division is wide open, and Bears players know that, and they talked about that when speaking to the media today, right? The boogeyman Aaron Rodgers is gone. He is going to create a nightmare for New York sports media, but there is a changing of the guard to be happening here, right? The Packers have unfortunately dominated the division for a long, long time, but that might change now that Rodgers is gone, and there's a big question mark at the quarterback position up north in Green Bay. Now, Justin Jones, after the first day of minicamp, talked about his hatred for the Packers after only being a Bear for one season so far. He said, they won in week 2, but their fans are really shitty. I'm ready to take the NFC North over. It's a good time to be a Bears fan. I'm not going to lie to you. I want to go out there and beat the hell out of them and hear their fans boo. Was not just Justin Jones, who is pumped up about what the Bears are going to be doing this upcoming season. This is what Eddie Jackson said. The energy is just so intense out there right now. When you get a bunch of guys like that, you're going to create something special. The type of guys we have in the locker room, real leaders, guys who really care about football. And then speaking of the Green Bay Packers coming down to Chicago, Robert, or Bobby Tunyon, I guess, I love where we are at. Overlooked, underrated. Whatever you want to call it, they still have to step on the field and beat us. I know it's just June, and every single year, all 32 NFL fan bases talk themselves into these kind of poster wall quotes and whatnot, but I love it, right? Who's not sinking their teeth into Justin Jones saying, I want to go up to Green Bay and beat the hell out of the Packers? I remember going to the Bears-Packers Thanksgiving game up in Green Bay and an all-time Tracy Porter breakup, and then he grabbed the mic afterwards from Michelle Tafoya or whoever on the NBC Sports crew going, we don't need turkey. We're all full. We've been eating cheese all night long. Give me more of that. The Bears need to retake the North, and hopefully 2023 is the start of it. So with that being said, over or under 7.5 wins for the Bears in 2023. This is about where Vegas has the line set for a team that won 3 games last year. I'm pumping the over. I am the CEO of the over club when it comes to Bears win total this year. I think they could be a team that makes way more noise than people expect. Every single year we get that, right? Wasn't too long ago the Bengals went from being the worst team in football to going to the Super Bowl a very short trip later, right? The Niners were another team that was at the bottom of the barrel of the NFC. They got healthy, and poof, they were in the Super Bowl. So give me the over on 7.5 wins. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. The final winner/loser from Minicamp is Ryan Poles' rookies. They are winners. They had some great standout plays. So 4 players that really caught my eye during Minicamp: Javon Dexter, the defensive tackle out of Florida; Zach Pickens, another defensive lineman from the SEC, this time South Carolina; Noah Sewell, so the brother of Penei Sewell from the Detroit Lions coming out of Oregon; and then the cornerback, Tyreek Stevenson. If I really had to zero in on one, I would pick Dexter or Tyreek Stevenson. I think Stevenson is going to surprise people. He was really good during minicamp, and he's going to step on the field and I think be this team's CB2 opposite of Jalen Jones, and he's going to impress people more than what they expect out of a rookie corner who wasn't even a first-round pick. Tyreek Stevenson, this is a name to remember. If you want to be this cool, smart guy at the bar over the summer, catching a game at Wrigley or whatever, talk about Tyreek Stevenson. You're going to get some people catching on to you that he is going to be a big piece of this defense in 2023. Now, as for the other guys, Andrew Billings and Justin Jones are currently the starting defensive tackles, but Dexter and Pickens, they are going to push these veteran players. I think Javon Dexter is a better run stopper, so you might see Dexter play more on like 1st and 10, for example, but when it's 3rd and 9 and the Bears want to get an extra pass rusher on the field, you can probably kick Billings off and put Zach Pickens on the field. Both those players were wreaking havoc on non-contact 11-on-11s, which is kind of hard to say or believe, but sure enough, they were getting mock sacks on Justin Fields. Now, as for the linebacker room, Noah Sewell was filling in for Jack Sanborn, who is currently injured still. So the lineup was Edwards, Edmonds, and Sewell. I think Noah Sewell is a guy that can probably contribute a lot on special teams to start his career off. And if an injury pops up, kind of like when Nick Kwiatkowski stepped in for Roquan Smith a few years ago, fans are going to be pleasantly surprised to see, oh, there's some good depth at the linebacker position. Now, before we get you guys on out of here, who was your favorite rookie from this draft class? I loved the first-round pick, right? Darnell Wright's going to be a mainstay at the right side of the offensive line. He's going to help keep Justin Fields' jersey clean. He's going to help him keep him off the turf. So for me, I'm going to be lazy and go with the first pick for Chicago and say Darnell Wright. But if you want to dig deep, by all means, let me know who you like the most down in the comment section. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and putting up for me for a couple of days while Harrison Graham is out of office. But he'll be back shortly, and you guys will get the big bearded Harry before you know it.